Welcome back, time travelers, to Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer, the podcast where gaming history refuses to stay in order. And I'm your host, Jeremy, from VideoGamersOasis.com. This is episode 2, and today the randomizer has gone completely off the rails. We're jumping from 1996 to 2008. For more content, across Windows PCs, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Nintendo DS, and even earlier digital storefronts. We have educational wildlife software, anime festival simulators, burning rubber in an open world paradise, tower defense monsters, and puzzle games tied to Saturday morning TV. Buckle up, because history is spinning now. Welcome back to episode 2 of Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer. And I'm your host, Jeremy, from VideoGamersOasis.com. Before we begin our second episode of our series, we have a brief quiz to review everything we learned from the previous episode. See if you were listening. And there'll be answers immediately after the question, but we're just going to test your knowledge or your memory from our previous episode to see how much you've learned from the previous episode. We'll get right back to the fun trivia right after this one. Now, for the first quiz, we have a number of questions based on episode 1. Question 1, handheld history. First stop, portable adventures. Question, which game on last episode, episode 1, was released exclusively in Japan for the Game Boy Color and followed a young hero on a classic RPG? Time's up. Answer: Quest, Brian's Journey. Game Boy Color version, Japan. Proof that even pocket-sized cartridges could hold epic quests. Question number 2. European PC invasion. Next up, Windows PCs and alien threats. Question: which German-developed Windows game featured a large-scale sci-fi combat and an invasion? Time's up. Answer: Thandor, The Invasion, Windows version, Germany. Because nothing says serious PC gaming like strategy, science fiction, and a mouse-clicking war effort. Question number 3. Industry time warp. Now let's jump behind the scenes of gaming history. Question: which major company moment involved Mike Harrington peacefully leaving his partnership with Gabe Newell, resulting in Newell becoming the sole Time's up. Answer, Valve Corporation. Mike Harrington departs. Gabe Newell takes full control. One vacation later, and the future of PC gaming is quietly rewritten. Question number 4. Crime and cyberspace. Back to the games. Which US released Windows game combined cyberpunk vibes, flying vehicles, and a gritty, futuristic Time's up. Crime Cities. Windows version, United States. A reminder that late 90s PCs loved neon skylines and ambitious ideas, even when the hardware struggled to keep up. Question number 5. The browser breakthrough. Now, this one changed how people played. No disk, no install. Question. Which worldwide browser-based game let players compete and strategize entirely online? Time's up. Planetarion. Browser version. Worldwide. Before social media took over the internet, browser games were already quietly conquering it. Question number 6. Jet fighters and philosophy. Final question. High speed. High stakes. Question. Which PlayStation game, developed in France, pushed the Ace Combat series into deeper storytelling and experimental gameplay? Time's up. Answer, Ace Combat 3. Electrosphere. PlayStation version, France. Jets, politics, AI, and existential questions. Because why not? Now for a bonus question. Time Warp Master. Bonus round. No wrong answers here. Question. Which game or moment from today's episode felt most ahead of its time? And I'll let you answer either in the comments or to yourself. And that wraps up the Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer quiz for the episode 1 that we just listened to last episode. If you nailed every question, congratulations, you're officially a certified Time Warp historian. Now on to the rest of episode 2. Let's delve further into video game history. And we're back. Welcome back to Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer with your host Jeremy. And we're going to randomize a few dates that were on this day. The date today is January 24th, 2026. On this day in gaming history, we have some years I'm going to ramble off from the mobygames.com website. Big shout out to that website. Check it out yourself. But we're going to randomly ramble off these years, and then we're going to randomize with our Wheel of Fortune to see which one it lands on. And just a little bit of an additional note, if one of the years mentioned on the Moby Games list is just one game, if it's a short game, we're going to probably roll the wheel a second time just for some more content for our podcast, so we won't leave you hungering for more. We'll give you a good feed. So let's check out these years on this day in gaming history, January 24th, 2026. In the year 1983, we have 43 years ago. 1984, 42 years ago. 1991, 35 years ago. 1992, 34 years ago. 1996, 30 years ago. Next we have 1997, 29 years ago. (2000), 26 years ago. Year 2002, 24 years ago. 2003, 23 years ago. 2004, 22 years ago. Now we have 2005, 21 years ago. 2006, 20 years ago. 2007, 19 years ago. 2008, 18 years ago. 2009, 17 years ago. 2010, 16 years ago. 2011, 15 years ago. 2012, 14 years ago. 2013, 13 years ago. 2014, 12 years ago. 2015, 11 years ago. 2016, 10 years ago. 2017, 9 years ago. 2018, 8 years ago. 2019, 7 years ago. 2020, 6 years ago. 2021, 5 years ago. 2022, 4 years ago. 2023, 3 years ago. 2024, 2 years ago. And finally, we have 2025, 1 year ago. So we'll compute all those different numbers for today, all those different years of video game history. We'll compute that into our Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer computer database, and we'll process it, and we will roll the wheel to see which game we'll land on, or which list of games for the years. All right, now it's time to spin the wheel and see which of these game years we're going to review for today. Spin that wheel. Round and round and round she goes. When she stops, nobody knows. And the wheel has stopped on the year 1996, 30 years ago. And the game that we're going to review is David Bellamy's Endangered Wildlife for the Windows 16-bit version. And that is really interesting, folks, but we're going to review one more year because that content is not enough to fill up an episode entertainingly. So we're going to run the wheel one more time just for a little bit of extra content and satisfaction for our viewers. So let's spin that wheel one more time. Round and round and round she goes. When she stops, nobody knows. And the wheel stops just about. All right. The wheel has stopped. We have the year 2008, 18 years ago. And the list of games we're going to discuss today for the year 2008 is Lucky Star, Rayu Galassian Orbasai, was released for the PlayStation 2. Burnout Paradise was released for the PlayStation 3. Exit DS was released for the Nintendo DS, if I can spit that out of my mouth. Excellent. Lucky Star, Rayu Galassian Orbasai DX Pack was released for the PlayStation 2. Version Japan. I hope I pronounced that. I probably didn't pronounce it correctly. But anyways, moving on. Pixel Junk Monsters was released for the PSN, PlayStation 3 version, France. And the Jetics Puzzle Buzzle was released, the PlayStation 2 version. That was for Australia and New Zealand. So let's delve into our time warp and see what more we can learn from these games in just a few minutes. For our first time warp stop, our number one game that we're going to discuss for this episode, in 1996, 30 years ago. In 1996, 30 years ago, David Bellamy's Endangered Wildlife. Windows, 16-bit, United Kingdom. Our first stop takes us back to 1996, when Windows PCs were still juggling 16-bit architecture, and games didn't always mean explosions. David Bellamy's Endangered Wildlife was part of a unique era where educational software shared shelf space with Doom and Command & Conquer. Named after British naturalist David Bellamy, the game focused on environmental awareness, teaching players about endangered species, ecosystems, and conservation through interactive content rather than traditional gameplay. This wasn't a quote-unquote game in the modern sense. It was edutainment designed for schools and families at a time when CD-ROMs promised that computers could educate and entertain. In a decade obsessed with power and polygons, Endangered Wildlife quietly reminded players that technology could also be used to protect the real world. For our next time warp stop, number 2, we have 2008, 18 years ago. And the game we're going to discuss is Lucky Star, Rayu Gawen Otosai. I had to look this up on the internet just to pronounce it properly. Hope I didn't offend any Japanese people. But PlayStation 2 is the game system that it was on in Japan. Fast forward to 2008, and the tone shifts completely. If the 1990s were about teaching players, the late 2000s were about celebrating fandom. Lucky Star, Rayu Gawen Otosai, was based on the wildly popular anime Lucky Star, known for its slice-of-life humor, meta jokes, and deep otaku references. Rather than a traditional action game, this title played more like a festival simulation. Mini games, character interactions, and fan service designed specifically for existing fans. It's a perfect example of how Japanese game design in the 2000s embraced media crossovers, where anime wasn't just adapted into games. It became a playable extension of the fandom experience. And now for a bonus release of a similar video game, Lucky Star, Rayu Gawen Otosai brackets DX Pack, PlayStation 2, Japan. Later that same year, Japan received the DX Pack, a deluxe edition aimed squarely at collectors. Extra goodies, bonus content, and premium packaging made it clear this wasn't just a game anymore. It was merchandise culture, and games were becoming lifestyle products. Our next time warp stop, number 3. Burn Rubber, No Rules. Burnout Paradise. PlayStation 3, France. Now let's hit the gas. Burnout Paradise marked a massive shift for the Burnout series. Gone were closed tracks, replaced with a fully open world known as Paradise City. Released on PlayStation 3, this game embraced seamless open world racing, online multiplayer integration, crashes as spectacle, not punishment, developed with strong European influence. Burnout Paradise captured the late 2000s obsession with freedom, speed, and connected gaming. This was racing without rules, and it helped redefine what arcade races could be in the HD era. For our next time warp stop, number 4. Puzzles in Your Pocket. Exit DS. Nintendo DS, Japan. While consoles chased high definition, the Nintendo DS proved that creativity mattered more than raw power. Exit DS brought stylish, minimalist puzzle design to a handheld audience. Players guided multiple characters through dangerous environments using touch controls, timing, and logic. Its clean, visual style and clever mechanics made it a standout example of how portable gaming evolved beyond quick distractions into thoughtful, skill-based experiences. The DS wasn't just for kids. It was a playground for smart design. For our next time warp stop, number 5, Digital Dawn. The game is called Pixel Junk Monsters. For the PlayStation Network, PlayStation 3, France. The next stop represents something huge. Pixel Junk Monsters launched digitally on PlayStation Network at a time when downloadable console games were still finding their footing. A tower defense game with charming visuals and deceptively deep strategy. It showed that small teams could succeed in consoles. Digital storefronts could host original ideas. And indie-style games had a place on big platforms. Pixel Junk Monsters helped pave the way for the indie boom that would soon reshape the industry. And for our final time warp stop, number 6, TV meets gaming. The game is called Jetics Puzzle Buzzle for the PlayStation 2, Australia, and New Zealand. Our final stop blends television and gaming. Jetics Puzzle Buzzle was tied to the Jetics brand, home of animated action shows for kids in the 2000s. Released on PlayStation 2 in Australia and New Zealand, the game leaned into accessible puzzle design, branding, and family-friendly appeal. It represents a moment when games were increasingly used to extend TV networks, keeping kids engaged across multiple platforms. And there you have it, from endangered wildlife on 16-bit Windows to anime festivals, open world racing, digital tower defense, and branded puzzle games. Episode 2 of our series proves one thing. Video game history doesn't move in a straight line. It jumps, it collides, and it reinvents itself again and again. Join me next time as the randomizer spins once more and we see where history lands next. This has been Video Game History Time Warp Randomizer, and I'm Jeremy from videogamersoasis.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on our random journey through video game history.